All right, welcome back. It is time for the 8th week in the Artist's Way journey already. Let's see, week 8 is called Recovering a Sense of Strength. All right, so our little sneak peek of what to expect in week 8. This week tackles another major creative block, time. You will explore the ways in which you have used your perception of time to preclude taking creative risks. You will identify immediate and practical changes you can make in your current life. You will excavate the early conditioning that may have encouraged you to settle for far less than you desire creatively. That sounds great to me. I'll be back soon to report how this week went. Well, it has been a minute since I was here in the seat recording an Artist's Way update. It has not been a minute for you. I didn't have any footage to show you apart from my try on of my sweater that I finished knitting. So that was such an amazing success for me. I will say, spoiler alert, that it's been quite some time since I checked in with this. I've kind of fallen off of a lot of things. We're going to talk about that today. But the main thing I've been doing in the time since I was here with you last is knitting this sweater. I've spent so much time working on it, and the process of it has been so amazing. I did a whole knit and chat video where I was in process of it, which is probably posted already, so I'll link that. The process of making it was wonderful, and then now even having blocked it, this is such a knitting specific thing, and if you're I'm here for talking about the Artist's Way, not about knitting, I'll just say this sweater is made of wool. It's pure wool from the Peruvian highlands. These little fibers of yarn came all the way from Peru to Michigan, now to Turkey with me. But the process of blocking it, where you wash it gently, so I just soaked it in lukewarm water with baby shampoo in it, it changed everything. The way it was the bottom hem was so tight, and now it's just beautiful. It's all just so good. And of course I finished it just as now it's so warm I do not need to be wearing this, but I feel like this was an intensive artist retreat for myself, where it was every night, instead of thinking about what artist date should I do this week, it was every night I would finish work, we would have dinner, and then I would just go plug myself into some Netflix for background. I've been going through Gilmore Girls lately, and just focus on knitting. So I feel like I've certainly not been deprived, even though I haven't really done a focused artist date. I feel wow, I've been so fulfilled because I'm getting to work on this project that I was enjoying so much that it was okay, you have to stop and go to bed. You're not going to finish it tonight. And another fun added bonus is that I did have 3 skeins of yarn 3 skeins of yarn left over. So I am now making a cable knit vest, and that's exciting too. So hopefully I'll be able to share that at some point. Although definitely by the time I finish it, it will not be the weather to wear a wool vest. So I'm looking forward to the fall. Anyway, let's get into chapter 8. Let's recap how that all went. Chapter 8 was recovering a sense of strength. I'm going to read my highlights to you, and then we're gonna move on from there. So the first section in here was about survival. That's right, the theme here was about time and how you spend your time. And as I said to you just a moment ago, I was spending my time working on my sweater, largely, not just for week 8, but for a few weeks since the last time that I recorded one of these updates. Survival. Let's see here. One of the most difficult tasks an artist must face is a primal one, artistic survival. All artists must learn the art of surviving loss, loss of hope, loss of face, loss of money, loss of self-belief. In addition to our many gains, we inevitably suffer these losses in an artistic career. They are the hazards of the road, and in many ways, it's signposts. Artistic losses can be turned into artistic gains and strengths, but not in the isolation of the beleaguered artist's brain. And then it says in the next paragraph, because artistic losses are seldom openly acknowledged or mourned, they become artistic scar tissue that blocks artistic growth. Wow, I highlighted this weeks ago and I'm like, that resonates so much. I feel like this journey that I've been on where like I've really stepped away from the artist way, I've stepped away from so many things. Yeah, I think it's important to acknowledge all of these things because I was really trying to just plow through and still do all the things. And I think the important thing with a journey like the artist's way or some kind of self-growth, spiritual journey that you're on is that you can't just treat it like another boss. Essentially the image I had was like, I had become towards myself like the kind of boss who cannot determine priorities for their worker, who's just like, it's all a priority, do it all. Because it was like, okay, write your book and make your sweater and do the artist way and create your YouTube videos and do all of these things. Spread yourself as thin as you can, because it's not just those things, it's also like work and life and all of the various marketing tasks I convinced myself I should do for my books, all of these things, when especially at the same time, there are losses here, all of these things, loss of hope, loss of face, like getting a negative review and feeling destroyed by that, or loss of money, you're investing in a new cover and then the book doesn't sell well, all these sorts of things, loss of self-belief, and you just push it aside and go, yeah, it's not real, it doesn't exist, I'm just going to plow on through. It is so important to acknowledge these things. And yeah, I think that works well here with me saying like, no, I'm not doing this artist way journey perfectly. Like, yes, it should have been done weeks ago. Yes, I'm not posting these videos consistently. Yes, I know I haven't been doing my morning pages regularly. The point of this journey is that it needs to serve me where I am in my life, not I need to contort my life in order to do this journey perfectly so that I can present it here as some sort of like, look at how good I am at following instructions. Like that's not the thing, that's not the point. And so if you are going through this book and you're like, oh shoot, I kind of petered out at like week 6, it's okay. Pick it back up anytime. You don't have to be legalistic about these things and do it like the letter of the law. Like you can interpret it your own way. And along that line, this next quote I highlighted. We must remember that our artist is a child and that what we can handle intellectually far outstrips what we can handle emotionally. Yeah, wow. What we can handle intellectually far outstrips what we can handle emotionally. That rings so true. So true. Yeah, it's I don't even have words to say anything about that. I'm just like, yep, that's profound. So did I not highlight anything else? Oh, here's another one. This is the section about gain disguised as loss. When faced with a loss, immediately take one small action to support your artist. Even if all you are doing is buying a bunch of tulips and a sketch pad, your action says, I acknowledge you and your pain. I promise you a future worth having. That is so lovely. Wow, I don't even remember highlighting that, but it's just beautiful. It's like, yeah, it is. It's not helpful, right? When you go through a loss, or you lost something as a kid, and the adult in your life is just like, yeah, okay, moving on, let's not acknowledge that, but just some kind of little like pat on the back that's like, I understand this is hard for you, maybe here's something to help make you feel cared for or help make you feel safe. And then there's a section here about age and time, which starts with this age-old question of like, do you know how old I'll be by the time I learn to play the piano? The same age you will be if you don't. I am huge on this reminder of like, no, we're not too old or too young or too whatever to do the thing that we want to do. we're right on time. So I had a kind of a chunk here. Let's see what it says. Many blocked creatives tell themselves they are both too old and too young to allow themselves to pursue their dreams. Old and dotty, they might try it. Young and foolish, they might try it. In either scenario, being crazy is a prerequisite to creative exploration. We do not want to look crazy, and trying something like that, whatever it is, at our age, whatever it is, would look nuts. Yes, maybe. Creativity occurs in the moment, and in the moment we are timeless. I really love that image. The thought I had here is like, there are so many things I did when I was younger that I'm grateful that I did when I was younger and more foolish, because maybe I wouldn't be foolish enough to do that thing, like that first move abroad. I don't know. I don't think I have a move, like a solo move abroad in me anymore. I mean, see any situation where I would be making a solo move in the first place. But even if I were, I don't know that I could summon that sort of self-will to do something like that. And similarly, publishing my first book, my first fiction, I should say, I think now, I think where I'm at as a writer now, what I'm willing, the risks I'm willing to take now are different than the risks I was willing to take before I had published any fiction, before I knew how it would be received. So that's interesting. Anyway, continuing on with the quote here. As blocked creatives, we like to pretend that a year or even several years is a long, long time. Our ego plays this little trick to keep us from getting started. Instead of allowing ourselves a creative journey, we focus on the length of the trip. It's such a long way, we tell ourselves. It may be, but each day is just one more day with some motion in it, and that motion toward a goal is very enjoyable. And then next paragraph, we like to focus on having learned a skill or on having made an artwork. This attention to final form ignores the fact that creativity lies not in the done, but in the doing. Oh, I needed to read that. Yes. I've heard people say that like so many people want to have written a book. They don't want to write a book, they want to have written a book. And I certainly feel that, like when I get too focused on like the books that I want to write, I'm focused on the final product. I think that's the challenge of publishing, is like any book after that first book, you realize like, oh, this is what happens at the end. At the end, I have a product. Well, I want to have more of these. I want to have more books that I can put out into the world. But the act of creating is where the beauty is. And that's similar with this sweater, right? Like when I was in the process of knitting it, I wanted it to be done, but I was also really enjoying the process. And now that I'm making this vest, I'm like, I don't want it to be done, because when it's done, what am I going to do with my hands? I mean, it'll be like late spring or early summer when it's done. So I will not want to be playing with wool when it's hot, but the process, enjoying the process. I love this reminder so much. And we need that for writing. So that's a thought I've been focusing on, is like romanticizing the process of writing, the ritual of writing, and not just the desire to be done with it and have the final result. One more quote in this section. The grace to be a beginner is always the best prayer for an artist. The beginner's humility and openness lead to exploration. Exploration leads to accomplishment. All of it begins at the beginning with the first small and scary step. And let's see, there's a section here called filling the form. Okay, just a couple of quotes there and then we'll be done. Fantasizing about pursuing our art full-time, we fail to pursue it part-time or at all. Isn't that the happiness trap? The like, when I am this, I will be this. So when I have the time to do it 8 hours a day, I will do it. Now I have the time to do it 20 minutes a day, but that's not worth it. When I have the time to do it 8 hours a day, I will do it. No, you won't. I can tell you. I think we've all of us who have done the work from home experience know that like, or have like been our own bosses, we know that like, no, when you have a full day to do something, you will not spend the full day doing it. You might the first day, but then there's a very good chance you're going to sort of have a little bit of a freak out and go, well, I think I'll watch 8 hours of YouTube today instead. So like a bit of encouragement along those lines, take one small daily action instead of indulging in the big questions. When we allow ourselves to wallow in the big questions, we fail to find the small answers. And then the final quote here, large changes occur in tiny increments. Absolutely, so true. Well, So this week or this month or however long it's been, yeah, as I'm revisiting this, I'm going, okay, well, the themes of the learning here do align with what I've been experiencing in my life. I am intending to finish the last 4 weeks, to move through them now, to do them in my own way. I don't know if I'm going to get back into my regular morning pages. I think part of this, like all of these things will sound like excuses, but it is the reality. I love to like get up early in the morning and have my morning routine and accomplish all of these things before like the rest of the world is even awake. But living in a house with no central heating and some quite chilly temps this winter, I'm like, I just can't get up early. I just could not do it. I'm like, now that it's getting warm, I'm like, okay, yeah, I remember how to have a morning routine again. I know how to get up. But man, when the air is cold, do you want to put your feet down on tile that's got concrete underneath it? Like, I certainly don't. So, I think honoring the seasonality of our lives is important. I tried to be a little bit more in hibernation in this season, which I think has worked pretty well. And yeah, now I'm feeling that spring energy. I'm ready to continue with this and see what the next weeks have in store. So I'm going to keep going, be gentle with myself. I hope you take this encouragement to be gentle with yourself as well. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.